Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Books of the Month. I'm your host, Dr. O.C. Pringle, and I'm so excited to have our featured guest for the first half of this segment, author Edwin Ferraro. He's the author of If I Could Take It, I Will Make It. That sounds like a sermon topic to me. That is an awesome subject for a book. Welcome, Edwin. How are you?
Good, very good. Thanks for having me. I want to
Awesome.
thank you.
Where are you located, Edward?
I'm in actually Arizona right now.
You're in Arizona. Well,
Scottsdale.
listen, you're home in Arizona. I am home here in Atlanta. This is the epitome of social distancing.
Definitely. I hope everything's safe.
Everything is safe here. What about on your end, Edward?
Good, good. Just staying home, hunkering down, not too much, but staying in, trying to be safe.
Awesome. If I could make it, if I could take it, I will make it. So
Yeah.
give me the inspiration for writing this book.
Well, it seemed like a lot of things were happening at the same time. I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2013, and it was like basically a tumble after that. I wasn't really know what to do and how to perform that and how to handle that. Like I lost my job, I wasn't able to do my work, and then family had a benefit for me. And then I was in a car accident sending thank you letters for the benefit, believe it or not. And then things, the pain and everything like that, it was, I was demoralized as a man. I felt my self-worth was gone. And then, I was in therapy. And I really didn't have anybody to talk to. I know Italian man in therapy, right? You don't really hear that, right? But so I really started writing out my feelings. And what happened is that all of a sudden I'm starting writing, and I was like, wow, I could help a lot of people here. There's a lot of things. It was bigger than me. So then I just went into my whole life, and it's an autobiography.
Basically, your personal testimony about what you've been through and what you have experienced, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, are you a pastor by any chance?
I'm sorry?
Are you a pastor by any chance?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Are you a pastor by any chance?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
Okay. I don't know. For some reason, just come across as a pastor to me. I don't know.
No, I'm a Catholic man. I want to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, for letting me as strong as I am to be here with you today. I'm very blessed to be here today.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Let's go a little deeper into the book. Tell me about the whole story. Tell me about it.
Okay. Well, I started off basically about the symptoms I was having. I was started getting migraines, and I was in the restaurant school, Philadelphia. I went back to school at 25. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, like as we all might. So I went back to school, and then I liked the restaurant business. Ever since I could work, I was a bit in the restaurant business. Then I got into catering. And I was doing weddings and catering business, and then doing interviews like that with the clients. And then what happened was that I started feeling these symptoms, so I didn't know what was going on. So I got checked out. Then I got an MRI, and then it was months, and then they didn't know what I had, spinal tap and all that stuff. And then I was diagnosed. And then ultimately, that's when things were going downhill. I had to quit working. I couldn't do it. I was sleeping a lot. I was fatigued. I was in pain. I couldn't eat. Very nauseous. So a lot of the symptoms were very building up, but I had to find, an alternative or a quick fix in a way, like what medicine I'm going to take now. And that's where in MS, it's very tough with multiple sclerosis that you don't really know. The doctor kind of says, whatever one is better for you, you think, so one can take every other day a shot, or one could take every day, but there's a lot of different side effects. So ultimately that wasn't working for me. I was getting worse, and my whole right side was going numb, and the right side of my face, my body. So I was limping. It was very weird. It was very weird, surreal in a way. And when you don't know what to do, and then your balance is off too. So they say alcohol. They say that MS, you mimic an alcoholic. So my balance was off, and then my speech would be slurred. And sometimes if I talk too fast, I know I get slurred. because I'm from the East Coast, so I do talk pretty fast. But that being said, is that I was put on a medicine and it wasn't really working for me. And then I was put on steroids, and then they don't like to keep you on steroids very long. So what happens is that I was put on an infusion. Tysabri was the medicine, which is every 6 weeks, give or take. And then you go in to get your infusion, and I was better. But before that, I woke up after the steroids were off, and I was stuttering. I couldn't say a clear sentence, and I was drunk. Like I had 12, 11 beers at 8 o'clock in the
Wow.
morning, bouncing off the walls, and I had to find the right solution, I guess, and that took some time. And then once I got on the new medicine, that's what was working, but the side effects were a little bit more extreme. So I was on that medicine for 5 years, but, give or take, but moving backwards now, I have MS and I wasn't working. So my family and friends, they threw a benefit for me. And I'm very blessed to have all the people that were part of that and help me out. And I was actually sending letters for thank you letters.
Mm-hmm.
I was stopped at the red light, and I got rear-ended, and
Wow.
that was kind of like, whoa, like, and then it was like I didn't really know like what to do, and then what happened was is that I got figured out because I went to the ER, and they couldn't do much for me right then, so I got an attorney to try to get more help, and then later I got shingles. It's just my own stress that brought it out. And then now I was picking up the pieces. I was in doctors 5 days a week. I had 2 torn rotator cuffs, 300 disc in my neck, a twin right hip, pinched nerve in my spine went down both sciatic nerves. So I was, trying to pick up the pieces of my life, needless to say, not to mention that I wasn't working, the news about having MS, things like that. So it was very troubling for my mind, so I had to go to therapy, and I realized that in that, I didn't know how to handle it correctly, and I didn't discipline my emotions well. And an Italian man, I have a hot temper, and I went from 0 to 60, I reacted instead of responded to a situation, and therefore I was pushing my ex-wife away from me, and inadvertently, and then I started to go to therapy. And that's when I was talking to the therapist, going for a while, trying to pick up the pieces, it was one stitch on my brain and one stitch on my heart and one stitch on my body parts, trying one at a time. But it was, I really, when everybody's working and you're home all day and you can't work, you're sick, whatever. So your mind, when you're left with your mind, you could think a lot of things. So I had to get it out. So my therapist recommended that I write out my feelings. And that's really how it came about. And then I started writing, but it wasn't like, like something you're committing. It was kind of like when it was convenient to write, And then after that, my marriage was just going downhill because of the distance between us and the way I handle situations. And I own that because the more I looked at myself and realized that I couldn't give her the time that she needed, or that she deserved, because I was more trying to work on myself too. And then if you're not good with yourself, how are you going to be good with anybody else around you? So that's where I had to, we ended up getting divorced. And then, I went back to live with my father at the time. And then at that point, it was your darkest days. But then I was on my way up because I was trying to get better. I was healing. And I had some dark days, don't get me wrong. Like I remember being so depressed where, you're crying on the floor listening to depressing music. And that's where music has been always an outlet for me. Because I feel like they say some things that you don't feel like that you could say. And you don't have, so they could think like exactly what you're going through. So ultimately, that helped me. And then I was doing the physical therapies that they made me. I was trying to get better, but I was still a broken man in many ways. So it was time to stitch myself back. And then as I was working out, I progressed on the workouts that I did and everything like that. And then, I just became more disciplined with it. And then, I was listening to motivational speakers and stuff like that and trying to get out of it. And then they say you're not going to change really unless you find it like, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I need a change. And that's where I knew that this wasn't me. And when you look in the mirror, and I finally realized that I was failing because of myself. Nobody else. Because everybody likes to point the finger at somebody else. it's your family, it's this, it's that, it's your job, but that's a bunch of bull. I mean,
Mhm.
sorry, you have to be honest with yourself. And as soon as I did that, the negative things started to go away and the positive things started to open up in my life. So then every day I started to write a little bit, whether it was a page or a sentence or a paragraph. I wrote every day. I made sure I wrote every day.
Wow. Wow. You have a very powerful story, man. It's a message. It is a real, it's a message, man. And I'm glad I categorized that in that manner at the beginning of the interview, because it's like a message, it's like a sermon. And God has definitely brought you through a lot. You do not look like what you have been through, my friend.
You see me right now. I
It's like
understand.
Hebrew boys, you came out unscorched.
I'm,
So
I'm, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed.
very blessed. Where can we find your book?
It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Noble online, the Kindle, the Nook, Google Play, and it's on iBooks right now.
On iBooks. Do you have a website?
Yes, it's E27 Ferraro 27.
Okay. And what are you planning on writing another?
I'm actually in the midst of it right now.
I just had that feeling. I just had that feeling.
I'm
And
actually,
listen,
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm actually taking classes to become a life coach too.
Well, I would say that you do qualify.
Thank you, thank you.
You qualify. A lot of people want to do life coaching, but never really been through anything. But you definitely qualify for that role in somebody's life, without a doubt. And I applaud you. You've been getting rave reviews on your writing, I'm sure.
I'm trying. I mean, I got some reviews already, and some people like it very much. So I mean, it's a true tell-all story. I mean, honestly, I sense that I figured that no way that me sugarcoating things was going to make anything come happen. If I told you 80%, that wasn't helping me, and it sure is not helping you. So
Mhm.
I had to be totally, break down the barriers and just totally be open and honest about it because it helped me grow as a man.
You got to be transparent. In order to help someone with your true testimony, you definitely have to be transparent, without a doubt. You have to be. Well, listen, Edwin, thank you for being a part of Books of the Month. You've made our episode kind of extra special today with your personal testimony, your personal story. I commend you. Keep on doing a great job as an author, and your future endeavors as a life coach. And I encourage those of you out there, our viewing audience, to go online and purchase one of Edwin's books. I promise you, you will be blessed by reading it. All right, Edwin, thank you for joining us, man. Listen, those of you that are viewing, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the second guest on this episode, all right? See you in a moment after word from our sponsors.